Hi there. This is a reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. So today, we're going to do messages from pets, and I picked this reading specifically for individuals who are, missing their pets during the holidays. I know it gets hard. With any kind of loved one. I just did a messages from loved ones recently, so that's why I'm doing. And I just, I don't know. I was just called for pets, and I want to say that, I also asked for people who have pets currently for messages as well. So it's not just for pets that are, no longer with us. It's also pets who are still here. That's not to say that, it won't be heavy this way or that way. We'll see what comes through. Feel free to leave if you feel like you're not getting the kind of message you want because, you have a pet who's still here, but something's not coming through, or maybe you're looking for a message from a pet that's no longer with you, and I'm not picking up on that. And I don't really have, on my website, um, I used to promote the fact that I can connect with pets, but I don't really have a reading option for that. But if you ever want a one-on-one reading specifically for you, more detailed, I can certainly do that. You can message me through email or on social media, whatever works for you. It's so weird because I knew I was going to use this deck before I came in here. Like, this was a few hours ago. I was thinking about this. And there was a different deck that I had over here that I was like, I think there's pets on those cards. But then I was like, the tarot deck. But I was like, no, I envisioned this deck. But what was weird was the card I was looking for was the moon in that other deck, because of they're wolves, but oh, and there's an owl, and I've got can you see it? Kind of. I've got a butterfly crystal. I think this is, oh gosh, I thought this was, oh my God, why am I rose quartz? But this looks nothing like that. So this is probably an aura quartz of some kind, clear quartz. I don't know. But anyway, I got a butterfly. I pulled a butterfly out and an owl since we're doing pets. So that definitely is significant. I'm like, people probably don't have owl pets, but maybe you have birds like me. I have parakeets because that's what I would associate that with. And or, the other thing I set an intent for was spirit animals. So, if you have been wondering about that, I do feel, oh, and there's crows too, which crows represent spirit, and there's a lobster too. Um, but people are probably eating the lobster, not having it as a pet. I don't know though. But anyway, birds see clearly, especially owls. They're very like that's kind of the meaning behind owls. So clarity is a thing, and then wolves like turn knowledge into wisdom. So that's kind of been a running theme. And the even more funny thing about me shuffling this moon, pulling this moon out, is that I literally just did a reading a couple days ago, and my intent was to find out what was hidden because I kept seeing the moon card, and I just was feeling some kind of moon like energy. And we have a new moon on the 19th of this month, December. So, and not to say that this reading shouldn't resonate whenever you watch it, like you're watching it for a reason. It doesn't matter if you watch it now or a year from now, whatever. But the thing is that, the energy, the new moon energy is very much like you want to set an intention to create the reality you want, and to let, you're not, the full moon is about letting go of what no longer serves you, and the new moon's about inviting stuff in. So the Queen of Cups and the moon, interesting energy. That was so funny. I'm not surprised that that came out, because I literally was like looking for that. I've got chills. So the Queen of Cups, seeing the Queen of Cups. Yeah, for a lot of you, this is a pet that's no longer here. They saw you as like, you're probably feminine in nature, whether you're a female or not, but they saw you as a hardworking, loving, motherly, nurturing type. They just have so much love for you, and they were very happy. Oh geez, the devil coming out while I'm saying that. Maybe they were a little stinkers. They were very happy with the family you have, whatever that may look like. If you have other pets, they really enjoyed them too. Yeah, they were definitely happy. If there was ever a question, I don't know, that needs to stay in the middle. A lion, a unicorn. Yeah, they're I feel like for some of you, this isn't, oh, there's butterflies too. This isn't going to resonate for everybody, but like for some of you, this pet is very, like they act tough and brave and whatever, but they might be a smaller pet. Like, it could be a small dog. I don't know, but it could be a small anything. And they, think they, they're sassy. They're, they've got 10 of Cups reverse. Interesting. They've got a lot of spunk to them. I'm definitely getting that sense. Maybe they were brown. There's a lot of brown coming through. Wow, a lot of reverse cards. Princess of Pentacles and the Prince of Wands. Oh, there's a lot of animals in this card. Okay, I'm going to set this over here. What was I going to say here? So yeah, you definitely have, like, for a lot of you, you have like a significant other of some kind. Might be someone you're dating. This could be, the prince and princess are generally like younger type of energy. Now we did see and there's another knight, or there's a knight, which is a little bit older than, well, actually these would be pages. What am I saying? So the princess and prince are like the youngest of the, I don't know. Well, I don't know what to call them. There's probably a name for them, but the like suits of like the, the prince, the knight, the, king and queen. Am I missing one? No, I don't. Weird. I had like a brain fart there. I'm sorry. But there, for some of you, I feel like, you might have gotten in a newer relationship when you had this pet, or you were, like I say, you are young, you're dating. But if you had this pet for a while, like maybe you're married now, or like you've been together with this person for a long time, and there's definitely a sense of like, king and queen energy, even though we've got the prince and princess, like they recognize that, you guys ran the show. And I mean, not all pets think that, right? I mean, some pets just have a mind of their own and they do whatever they want, but I feel like they really respected you and your partner. But I feel like if you're watching this, like there's a lot of masculine energy coming through. So perhaps like your significant other was very, there's another lion. Maybe they had this strong like presence and like brave presence and kind of loud, like trying to set the rules, but they definitely saw you as more of the caretaker and like you probably were the person that they had the bigger bond with and spent the most time with, okay? I feel like, some of you, like I say, have multiple pets, but you could just have had the one and maybe you got new pets too. But I definitely feel like you're the type of person that would have a couple of pets, and they definitely um, had like a bond with those pets too of some kind. Um, might not, for everybody, it might not have been like they were best friends or whatever, but I feel like they, liked that if there was more than one pet, it wasn't just them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Well, you got moths. There's more butterflies over here. Um, there's something about outside. So you might live somewhere. Oh, and there's more birds. You might live somewhere that has like a big backyard, or maybe you're in the country. Like they really liked being outside, or, if they're still alive, I'm being called to say that they do enjoy nature a lot. They're a kind of pet that likes to spend their time outside. And I mean, I never really, I guess fish, there's a fish here, they wouldn't, I mean, unless you had a pond like here, but most, I feel like animals, like, they want to be outside. Like that's nature. That's like, that's their, in their DNA or whatever. That's what I kind of want to say. But, yeah, I feel like their favorite thing was to spend time outside, because literally every card has like the individuals are outside, even the 10 of cups, like they're outside, they're not in a house. 10 of cups is typically about like family, home, love, that sort of thing. I want to address, 3 of cups, we like that. Sunflowers. Maybe their name's Sunflower or Flower, or maybe they like sunflowers, or maybe you do. Like the fact that we're seeing them twice. There's birds again. Wow. So I want to look at some of these animals we've got here. Because I feel like if you're watching this video, you probably have more of a traditional pet. I mean, birds, they're not super traditional. Like, I don't know a lot of people who have birds like I do. So, that's kind of an oddball, but I'm feeling like dogs and cats, and maybe some like, because there's an alligator, so maybe some reptilian type pets, lizards, maybe, you might have a snake, or, like something like that. But yeah, there's a rabbit. And I saw a rabbit earlier online. You might have a rabbit. There's a turtle. Yeah, a turtle. Some of you might have a turtle. The rabbit and the turtle, fast and slow kind of energy. And then there's a porcupine. It's an otter, fox, swan, bear, deer. Yeah, there's all kinds of different, and there's a frog. I was gonna say frog too. You might have a frog. What's interesting is I'm noticing these, fairies. I was looking at them as I was talking about the animals, and I definitely feel like this pet is saying if they're not no longer with you, like they're definitely like with you, right? They're kind of, and I get the sense that I don't want to say they're always with you, but they're with you a lot. Okay. They might have been very clingy to you because of how nurturing you were. So, they follow you around just like they did when they were here, and they're looking over you, and they're there for you. So you can always talk to them if you, used to do that, or maybe you didn't and you want to talk to them, like they're listening. Bears have a very sense of like, in one of my decks it says be at home. So, you know, there's more home energy. Home was definitely their favorite place for sure. There's a bull, an eagle, a wolf, and a bear. My goodness. Yeah. I definitely do feel like for a lot of you, you might be coming here to hear about your pet, but these are like spirit animals for sure. I mean, a unicorn, that's giving, you know, spirit animal energy for sure. There's a horse over here too. Some of you might have a horse, or have had or ridden. Maybe you rode a horse. Moths. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different animals coming through here. There's another crow, another butterfly. That's great. Okay. Sorry, I'm lighting my sage and stuff real quick. Where do I want? Oh, I already know where I'm going because I forgot I had this deck. I thought I had a box. I don't know what happened to it. And it's actually very like, you know, there's like animals in here, but it's very like outside type energy. And especially because we're getting all this outside energy, that's definitely, I wanted to use this deck. I was already thinking it, but oh, there's a deer there too. I just noticed. Actually, this did want to go here. And also, the other thing I wanted to mention, I was looking at this tree. There was a tree, well, there's multiple trees in this one. So I used to, with my dog Peanut, she passed away in August. I used to go to this really big tree with her. So if you had like a tree or something that your pet really liked outside, you can always like visit that place or that thing, and it's going to be like, maybe you already feel connected to your pet, like that's why you're here too, but oh, look at that, a chameleon. You're going to feel even more connected to them if you go by that thing that they loved, that you spent time with them at. Also, I just noticed there's dragonflies too, huh? And feathers. I did see that, but I forgot to point it out. Feathers feel like a thing if you see them outside and they're like odd feathers. Like that's definitely like them saying hi. If you have birds, obviously you know why we're seeing that. But these are like crystals too. So, you know, maybe there's a crystal that you like carrying around, like it can remind you of your pet. I actually had, Peanut had little crystals on her collar, and I took them off her collar and put them on my keychain. So she's always with me, you know. You might want to just bring a piece of your pet with you where you go, and it'll feel better for you, okay? Interesting. These cards don't want to come out. Feel free to fast forward if you need to. I know this is kind of annoying. These two want to come out. Growth and achievement. Yeah, there might be a hill that you guys would climb together, that you know, ran up together, or, you know, parks that you went to. Yeah, very, very close bond. There's a sense of like, if you lost your pet, you definitely are having a hard time letting them go, even if it's been a while. And that's completely okay. Like, and that's why I'm saying talking to them, home, stop. And there's a bird. Talking to them is really a good thing. I feel like I should have put that somewhere. Talking to them is, you know, helpful, whatever you got to do to even after death. There, see, like you guys have, there's one particular pet. So if you've lost multiple pets, whatever pet that you felt, another butterfly, whatever pet you felt closest with, like you had a really super close bond with, they're like, oh my god, a fish. You're like, you don't lose that connection just because they passed on. You know what I mean? So don't miss out on that. Like if you're having a hard time, don't miss out on the fact that you guys are still very much connected. Okay. Like, look at, there's a center, like a light, center light here, center light here. I was looking at hers. He's got, something on his chest. So, they're in your heart. They're, it's very strong, your bond. So, it's okay. You can let go, I guess, is kind of a message they're giving you. Like, don't hold on so tight, because they're here. They're in your heart. And they're with you. Like, not physically, they're not here, but they're present. Their energy is present, okay? So the Fool reverse talks about, like the Fool talks about taking that leap, right? I feel like for a lot of you, you are maybe holding off on things, like maybe this special bond you have with your pet, or if your pet's still living, maybe they're having a hard time, like you're having a hard time letting go of that, or doing the things that you want to do because you want to spend as much time with them as you can. And I'm definitely getting the sense, like I was saying, you got to let go, because like they want you to live your life. Like they don't want you to put your life on hold for them, because they had such a great life with you. Like they feel so loved, so cared for. Like I was saying in the beginning, some of you have 3 pets for sure, because I saw the 3 of Pentacles too. And it might be a pack kind of thing. So dogs definitely feel significant. But yeah, they would not be offended in if you moved on with your life. Don't feel like, I feel like we do that sometimes with people, with pets. Like we just feel stuck in that, how life used to be, and we feel like we can't move forward. It's a disrespect to, that person, that pet, whatever. But they're saying absolutely not. Like, we want you to live your life to the fullest and start something new, whether that's bringing in another pet so you feel better. That might be what some of you are considering, and they really are not offended. And they might even, yeah, I've got chills. You might be surprised. They might even send a pet that's like them, right? Not completely them, because no pet would ever replace that kind of special bond, but definitely similar energy to kind of fill that space, that hole that you got, right? 7 of Wands reversed with growth and achievement. So this feels like a message from a pet, but also kind of your spirit animals, where like you have found your voice recently, and your growth is being recognized as an achievement. The 7 of Wands talks about standing your ground. But what I'm getting from this is really more of a like, I don't have to prove anything. Like I know what I'm doing, I know who I am, and I don't have to feel like I've gotta like speak out loud these things that I know to be true. Like I don't need validation. Like there's a sense of not being as defensive as you used to be. There's something that changed in you, the work that you did, but maybe the comfort of, I feel like a lot of you are, Leos like me, or you've got a strong protector on the other side. Like I've got a grandfather who's a Leo. Like I always think of him when I feel that kind of presence. Or your spirit animal is something that's very, like an alligator is kind of, scary, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt you, right? It could be a mix of something too, but a lion, like you've got very fierce protectors on the other side for you. and this feels, and I mean, I feel like your pet, if they're gone, they were like a fierce protector of you, even if they couldn't protect you, right? They might have been too small, like I was saying. But yeah, I mean, it's being recognized that you have grown a lot. Maybe you haven't had this pet in a while, but you've been watched over before you even met this pet, and they see all the changes you've made, and all of the animosity is a word that I'm getting, that you've left behind, that you were carrying about past situations, or like that defense I'm talking about. You felt like you needed to defend yourself, but you're kind of letting it, like, bygones be bygones kind of thing. The other thing I'm noticing, like, this looks like light out, but there's stars. There's a lot of night. There's stars in every. Is there a star? Yeah, that there's a star right here. There's stars in every card. So nighttime could be very significant with this pet. You might have did something at night. Maybe the park was a nighttime thing, or you just spend a lot of time outside. Like I said, you have a home in the country, and you just look at the stars with your pet. I feel like there's a sense like they're watching you from the stars kind of thing, which is really cute. So yeah, this definitely feels more like pets that are no longer here. So sorry for anybody that, not to say you can't get a message, but sorry for anybody that is watching for the other. Prince of Wands with permanence and travel. Yeah, this is interesting, this energy over here. Some of you might have started kind of stepping out and doing the things that you were going to do, but you had a pet that you couldn't bring along. Travel, like permanence. I mean, you're still feeling the effects, but you're starting to take more action on the things that you want to do. And maybe traveling is more of a, like, not physical travel, but you're, moving careers, or, um, leveling up your energy. Like, it could literally be anything. One of the things I want to share that's bringing to mind about, this leveling up energy I'm talking about, and right before Peanut passed, I had this feeling that she was going to pass sometime soon. I didn't know when. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, because then you're not living in the moment. But I just had this thought of, like, she's going to teach me something. I don't know what it is. And I just felt like once she was gone, I would know. And it's the absolute truth. So she taught me that, because I was very, I babied her a lot before I even met my boyfriend, and he got a dog. He got Roscoe, and then he got Lulu, and then Peanut and I moved in here. So, she was already really babied, because I used to be a caregiver, like, in the sense that I was too worried about other people, pets, whatever, and I wasn't focusing on myself as much. And when we moved in here, I was really worried, because Peanut's a smaller dog. Like, Roscoe's a Old English Bulldog / English Bulldog, and then Lulu, we don't know. We think maybe part Bulldog or French Bulldog and something else like Pug, or I don't really know. But Roscoe's really big, and then Lulu's big too, but she's not as big as Roscoe. Like, she's very stout. And Peanut was just a Chihuahua Pit Bull mix, and she was just basically a big Chihuahua. So I was always worried about the other dogs hurting her. So I just spent a lot of my time focused on her. Okay, so the thing that she taught me, and I didn't realize until she was gone, was that, I need to live my life. These are my pets, and I love them, and I should take care of them. We should take care of our pets. And it goes for humans too. Like, I realized I was doing too much. Like I am a caregiver, that's who I am, but I don't need to go that crazy about it. I feel like no, it's not. Okay. So you might resonate with something like that, where your pet left, and that's why I'm saying it's a strong bond, because you don't always learn, like you learn from other people, right? But you don't always learn from your pets. And my pet before that, actually, Clyde, he had very terrible separation anxiety, and I literally did all kinds of research. I could not figure out that poor baby, how to help him. And I felt so guilty because we had to put him down. He was older. He probably wasn't going to make it much longer. He was suffering. It was terrible. It got worse and worse and worse. And, I regret that. I regretted that after he passed. But then one day I felt him and I was like, okay, he's telling me like he was ready. He didn't want to, he's this kind of idea, like you need to live your life, it's okay, like I know like why you did that, and it's important that you did that. So I'm just sharing all of this to say that, because I didn't really learn anything from Clyde other than I'll never get a dog that I don't, because it was my mom's dog, and then it was like my brother, he was with my brother. So he got passed from person to person. And I really worried about that with Peanut, because she had a owner before I got her at 9 years old with my ex-husband, and they had to go to a nursing home. So that's why they gave her up, and she was terrified. She was only in the Humane Society for 2 days, thank God. And I think she felt like she had a new lease on life, and it worked out for the best. We were very fortunate, and I kept her, and I was very fortunate because she was such a good girl. But that's something I was worried about because I just experienced that with a different dog. So anyway, long story not short, it might be something to that effect where you're gaining some knowledge from your pet. And I noticed the rainbow. Okay, so rainbow bridge, but I didn't even realize this. So yep, we're definitely talking about, we're still talking about spirit animals, but this is definitely a pet or pets that are no longer here. I need a drink of water. I do get the sense too that some of you might have a water pet, like, well, frogs like to be in water. I don't think lizards do they? Some of them might. But the fish, like you might have like a fish, like some of you might have like saltwater fish. I don't know. But you can still share. Oh, whoops. I knew eventually it was going to start smoking like that. Some of you might, have pets that aren't very, and not to say that they can't be entertaining. I've seen this one woman on TikTok. She's got like what is it, a crab or, yeah, I think it's a crab. And I watch those, like she feeds it different things, and like, it's so cute, the bond they share. But I mean, fishes, I'm sure some of them have personality, but I don't know. I mean, it's okay if you're asking about your fish. I totally, like, it's your pet, it's your pet. And I mean, we got a fish here. And that's why I brought up the fish. So I feel like fishes are significant for sure. So 10 of Cups reverse with creativity and simplicity. What am I picking up from this? Because, like I say, this is kind of like happy home, and it's reversed here, right? And I don't feel like that's the message that, you're getting from, whether it's your pet or maybe a spirit animal. Could be a pet though, because like I say, their home life was really good. And maybe there's discontent in your connection a little bit. Not to say that anything's terribly wrong with it, but maybe maybe once you lost focus on your pet because they weren't here, you shifted your focus. If you're like me and you're an overthinker, maybe you shifted your focus to your relationship, which, isn't bad. Relationships need work, and it's okay completely to focus on them and to nourish them and grow them. But sometimes, just like what I was saying about Peanut, how I just focus all my time and energy on her, sometimes it's a distraction from what you really need to take care of. So whether it's yourself or whether you're needing to focus on a project, getting creative, maybe you need to get more creative with your relationship and have fun and be playful, keep it simple. Maybe you're making things complicated in your life in general. But that's something I'm constantly working on because I've always been a very serious person. And I talk to my boyfriend about that a lot because he's a jokester, right? And sometimes I just take him way too seriously. I know he's joking. So, if you resonate with something like that, like me, where you're just like, well, I gotta find something wrong. There's gotta be something wrong, or oh my God, he's got rainbow on him too. Um, maybe that's what you're looking for. But your pet is saying, don't do that because this is a really good connection. I mean, deers are very soft. You're very soft. We had the deer twice, or we have 3 deers. And like I said, your person is showing up in strong masculine energy. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're a man, but they're very, they've got this, oh, they both have a headband. I just noticed that too. Interesting. Oh, that might be a crown or something. Not this one though. He's got something on his head. These guys all have long hair too, so maybe your person has long hair, or blonde hair is coming through significant. Maybe it's a female as well. However that means for you. But what was I saying? I'm getting also a sense of like maybe you had multiple losses in a row, and maybe for some of you it was human related. And there's a doe. How cute. Maybe it was human related, so you're feeling kind of like you're having a hard time with that too. So you're being asked to, again, you can talk to this loved one just like you would talk to this pet, but you're being asked to keep things simple for yourself for now, either way, but especially if you're suffering a loss, and try to do things to get your mind off of it. So see, that's why I was talking about the mind too. And it's interesting because this is a cup, not a sword. And actually there are no swords here, right? This is a cup, not a sword. So, get out of your head with whatever you're in your head about, whether it's the scenario I said or not. Okay. So I feel like we've come full circle. I was looking at this circle on this card. I was drawn to that, even though, there's feathers and, oh, there's a moon. I don't know if that's a moon. That's probably a moon. There's a moon there. See, I was talking about the moon, and this moon coming up is very significant. This feels more like the sun. I didn't realize that one had sun in it. And I said, they're all night. Liar. And I think that is a sun, but it's giving like night vibes because of the stars too. But anyway, it could be a sprinkle dust because look at that. That's fun. These cards are fun. I'm glad I picked this deck. So anyway, we've come full circle. If you notice, like I was really honed in on this circle here, and that looks almost like woodwork. Maybe you've got like a business with woodworking or ancestral, like feels like masculine ancestral things. Maybe you have like a trinket or something from an ancestor, a male ancestor that's similar. Maybe it's small, but circle, circle. So the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So Knight of Pentacles is like the slowest moving knight in the deck. And the fact that it's reversed feels like a rush, okay? It feels like you're trying to rush something. And water, emotions, feelings. And I'm getting the sense of like something's not complete. We got a cycle or something that's kind of hanging out here. What is the cycle though? I mean, because usually cycles are tied to emotion, so that doesn't really tell me anything. I might have to pull a card here. Let's see, maybe we'll just split the deck. 9 of Cups reversed. Damn. Wish fulfillment. Something didn't get off the ground. And there's butterflies again. Something didn't get off the ground for you. What is it though? Maybe it's different for everybody. Maybe that's why I'm having a hard time honing in on it. Knight of Cups. Damn. Okay. This definitely feels love related, even though we've got a Pentacles, because the Knight of Cups and 10 of Cups reverse, 9 of Cups revert, they're all reversed. So this feels like somebody that, this is weird because I'm not, for most of you, I'm feeling like even though, you know, this isn't necessarily the best, like I said, because it's reversed, I'm not feeling like there's anything wrong if you have a relationship with somebody, if you've had a relationship for a while. But maybe for some of you, there is maybe most of you have been in a relationship for a long time, but maybe there's old energy from other people that you've been with, that you've dated, or there's old energy from you in your relationship that's kind of hanging around still, that you haven't learned something from. How you're going to know is which one it is, I guess, is the Knight of Cups reverse kind of talks about somebody who is like a player who promises you the world, and I'm getting chills from this. It feels more like this scenario, promises you the world and or doesn't really promise you anything, but is kind of showing up like they're going to give you what you want, need, etc. This is very interesting that this is coming through. So you might have had this pet before you were with this person now. Okay? That feels for sure like a thing. Definitely. So maybe not everybody's going to resonate with this message then, and I'm sorry. It's important. It's here. So anyway, there must be some kind of like trapped emotion that you have not dealt with that you need to still, or this person, it's the same kind of idea. Maybe they thought they were going to get their happily ever after with you, but now it's too late because they didn't get off their ass and do anything. So like too little too late, guy or gal. So, you know, like you've moved on, but they haven't moved on, or you've moved on, but this is still lingering. I want to pull a card to see what specifically it is. So you can, the cycle, so you can try to release it. Well, this is a new moon, like I said, but maybe you need to write about it. Whoa. Well, it wants to go here. Quest. Not a like pond or swamp. Interesting. I need one more. Service. Oh, grandma's coming through now. Huh. What the hell? Trickery on the bottom. I feel like you're being protected from this person, or you were being protected from this person. So maybe there's some people that, haven't moved on from this, like that are watching this video. Maybe you're not with anybody right now, or maybe you've got your eye on this person, or maybe you're with this person. I'm not sure, but either way, there's a sense of like not being fulfilled with them. And like, it's a dead end, like you're not going to have a good relationship, but you're still trying to go after it. We've all done that. Okay. We've all dated that person or tried to date that person. And I feel like you're being told, learn from my mistake by a grandmother. Enlightenment. You got a grandfather too. Recovery. Yeah, I feel like for some of you, this person's still hanging on. Trickery. Like they're still making promises they can't keep, or they're still showing up even though you're like, I don't want you here. I don't know. This is really weird that this is coming through for you. For some of you, I think the grandmother's just saying to like, you deserve more. You've learned too much. You've grown too much, and you have bigger things to do than waste your time on this individual who is just playing games with you, kind of thing. And it might be hard workaholic. So, interesting. You might have met this person at work, or maybe they're like, I'm at work, I can't talk to you, or maybe they're spending more time working than with you, and maybe that's making you upset. And if it's not like that dramatic, and you just like, maybe there's a conversation that's needed where you're like, okay, I really need you to spend some time with me at home, and I know that you got to work, but I need some attention, kind of thing. That was an odd message. I don't know. Perseverance, Princess of Cup. Or Princess of Pentacles. I feel like I saw something with perseverance, recovery, enlightenment, kind of the same idea, destiny. And there's, oh no, I thought that said obstacle. No. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's new opportunities waiting out there for you. For sure, that's kind of a different message coming through that you're working on taking action towards, and your pet is giving you like the thumbs up, the go ahead on that. Like, you're not going to leave them behind. They're never going to leave you. They're always with you. So let's just see if we get one more. This is kind of an angel deck. And I feel like pets are just they are angels, they're unconditional with their love. Your desires are within your reach. I love that. So I just felt like I wanted to pull a card here from this deck because of that. Soul group reversed. Look at rainbow. Loneliness, emptiness, overlooking, misunderstood. Perfect timing. Interesting. Yeah, you're probably feeling a sense of loss in the sense that, like maybe that pet understood you really good. You had like I said, you had a special bond. So maybe you feel really empty and like nobody gets you, or the situation with the pet, like nobody can understand because of how special it was with them. Or, this is your spirit animals coming through and saying like, we see you, you're not, weird or, misunderstood by us. Like, we understand you. And, to make sure that you're surrounding yourself by people, oh, by people who understand you and that are, not going to make you feel overlooked. Okay, I'm sorry. I just realized, because I was like, I don't know if this is romantic. I'm sorry. I hate to go back to this because I'm like, I'm missing something. So if you don't want to hear this part again, it's fine. It's different. There's a different message, because I'm like, I don't know that this is romantic, and what I feel like is actually coming through. That's why we've got the grandmother. So this definitely feels like an ancestor, like a person you knew, like a grandmother, coming through about family matters. So you might be having trouble, and this is why it clicked with me, the soul group. Okay, you might be having trouble in your family about a situation specifically, and it's a cycle. Okay, and you're wanting to like move forward or do what you need to do in a situation, and like you keep trying to, like, maybe you recognize these people in your family, like who they are and who you are, and how sometimes maybe you don't mesh, like you're not, like they don't understand you, you don't I mean, maybe you understand them, but oh, and there's feathers, like it's hard because you're like, we're completely different, right? And maybe you've been trying to, make it work with them, and like trying to see their point of view and trying to bring it all together. But it's been failing. And like your message with this, because like I said, you got the 10 of Cups reversed, you got the 9 of Cups reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so home, wish fulfillment, and then the Knight of Cups is usually romantic, but in this case, it's just like you've got an emotional kind of bond, right, to this individual or these people. It doesn't have to be a man, right? It could be feminine, a female with masculine energy. But either way, it's like you had this wish of being a happy family with them and being cohesive and feeling like a unit. But this grandmother is kind of coming through and saying like, let it go. Like, what is the card? Service and quest. Like, your, part of your purpose might be to like be a leader. I talked about this in a recent reading and I've got chills. Be a leader of the family and kind of like show the way, or show, lead by example. But what's coming through is that you've done all you can, basically, and there's nothing that is ever going to, oh God, I hate this, I'm so sorry, there's nothing that's ever going to make it like this. Okay, no matter what you try. So, I didn't know we were going to get a hard truth in this, and I didn't know a grandma was going to come through. But in order to, and this message makes sense over here too, like you've achieved, like your pets, your grandmother, everybody watching over you, the protection, like I was talking about, is very proud of you. Very proud of you. Like, you've made so much progress, so much growth. But they're saying like, you've done what you can, and take it at face value, like you've been, and stop trying, like, because what's happening I feel like, is that you're being let down every time, right? You're being let down, and it's hard to get back up and be playful and creative and whatever, if you're constantly striving to be the glue. Like, that's the feathers. I didn't realize there were feathers, but it's like people do look to you, and oh my God, that's the moon and the sun. People do look to you. Look at peace reverse. Yeah, you're not getting peace because your spirit relationships, you're not connecting with the people you do have in front of you, like maybe your significant other, your partner, that do show up and that you do have a special bond with, that get you, that understand you, that want you to just be who you are. Okay. So, and it's really tough that you've got a loss here, right? We're talking about pets that you lost. Whenever you've lost them, they stay with you. The loss stays with you. And then, this feels like a loss all over again. And every time it happens too, like you get let down, it's like you lost them all over again. Ugh, this is really heavy. I'm so sorry. So, in order to not keep feeling this, you got to stop trying. And it's not to say, like, if you have relationships with these people, like if you talk to these people, obviously you do, that you should stop talking to them. It's just being mindful of what you're talking to them about, because you're probably getting triggered by these people, and then you get stuck in the loop where you're like talking about it and you can't let it go. Like, you're talking to other people about it, you can't let it go, but also like you're trying to prove your point to these people and they're not going to hear you, because you essentially speak completely different languages than these other people. Like, you're completely different. Completely. Again, like I said, like, they don't understand you at all. Like, you might understand them, but they can't understand you. So you gotta let it go. Ugh. And focus on the relationships that you want to grow. The friendships, the partnerships, and your pets. If you still have other pets and your pet that's not here, they're with you, they'll listen if you need to talk about it. And again, it's not saying you can't talk about this, it's hurtful, okay? But be mindful of the energy that you're pouring into it, because it sticks with you in your heart and it doesn't feel good for you, okay? And you're loved in other places. Oh my God, an hour. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're ending it right now. Thank you for those who stuck around this one. I had trouble seeing, I had trouble with the end, and anyway, thank you so much for being here. Any likes, shares, comments on the video, subscribers to my channel are super appreciated. If you would like to donate to my channel, it is not expected, but appreciated, of course. I will put my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal in the comments. Also, I will add my link to my booking site, so that way if you want a reading from your pet, or if you resonated with some of this other over here, whoever this person is to you, but whoever this person is to you over here, the cycle that needs to end, I can help you with all of those things. Book a reading with me and you will not be disappointed. Hope this reading helped.